Hello and welcome again to Women's Herstory Month. And we are here at Women's Prosperity Network making herstory and bringing to you world-renowned women who are making herstory right now as we speak. And my guest tonight is someone I'm so thrilled to have with us. Her name is Masama Sato, and she's coming to us from Singapore. And Masami is literally, I don't care what anybody says when you use the word literally, I mean it here. Masami is changing the world. Masami has created an organization where everything that a business does can have impact around the world in making a difference. And she's got an incredible background in business. She's an incredible mom with 2 kids. And I'm just going to bring her on and say, welcome, Masami. Cannot wait to hear more about what you're about.
Hi, Trish. It's great to see you. Thank you so much for having me here.
It is my pleasure, my pleasure. So Masami created a really unique way for businesses to come together to change the world because, let's face it, if we all were to collaborate, join arms, and say we're going to take on and tackle the situations that are happening around the world and in our own backyards, things would change and things would get done. So Masami's organization is called Buy One, Give One, Businesses for Good. So Masami, tell everybody a little bit about Buy One, Give One, and then I'd love to hear about your background and inspiration and how this came about.
Right. So Buy One Give One, which is today known as B1G1, is a global giving initiative aiming to work with businesses and especially small to medium-sized businesses around the world and help them give in meaningful ways and by integrating effective giving in what they do. So today we work with more than 2,500 businesses around the world, and these businesses giving their own unique ways. So if you imagine, for example, a coffee shop, a cafe, selling coffee, but then giving access to life-saving water for every coffee they sell, or an accounting firm educating a child for every client they create. So these things are happening today. It's not just an idea or imagination. So, and these small businesses have worked together to create more than 170 million giving impact already. So this shows the power of small, how small businesses and the small day-to-day business activities that they are doing can link to meaningful, effective giving opportunities and then make a difference. So we have more than 500 projects in so many different countries, and these projects can be like planting 1 tree or educating a child for 1 day or giving access to sewing machine to a woman so they can run their own business. So we have so many different things linking to also the global goals. So bringing small businesses in line with what's happening in the world. So that's what we do. And Trish, you asked about my background and how we got here. So yeah, so basically, like I was a business owner myself, and it's interesting of a journey of business owners because they individually see different problems and they care about different things. So in my case, I cared about food and health of people. So I thought I would start a food business to give opportunities for people to eat healthy food and share that with the people they cared about. So I went into business for the first time more than 18 years ago. And at that time, I was a mom, brand new mom, having 3-month-old baby girl. So that's probably not the best time to start a business, crazy people.
But it certainly is a time to jump in head first and just do it. So congratulations to you for doing that.
Yeah, because like if you just knew what was coming ahead as business owners, then it's probably like you wouldn't start it because of the challenges that you would face.
Right.
But sometimes you just have to do what you believe in. So I went into business because I wanted to give the profit that we create with our business and build a soup kitchen one day and feed and educate the street kids. So that kind of came from my own experience traveling around the world in my youth, seeing that there were actually lots of children who couldn't even afford to go to school, or if we didn't have a parent. And so when I became a mom and feeling the strong sense of connection with my own daughter, that time was the best time for me to say, hey, like I just had to do something, even if I couldn't change everything or solve all the problems in the world. So that's how I started my business. And so then what happened was quite interesting, because years later, when my business was developing and becoming a little bit bigger, I realized I was still telling myself that I was not ready to do something grand, because our business was growing, but I was putting all the money back into developing this business. So I realized if I always said to myself we were not ready because we didn't have a lot, or we weren't successful enough, then that dream to one day build a soup kitchen seems to be moving ahead of us, and we would never reach there. So that time, the idea of B1G1, buy one, give one, where instead of trying to do something big one day, what if our company just gave one meal for every meal we sold? And that kind of transformed everything. And eventually I sold my business to start B1G1. And that was 12 years ago.
Wow. And you have made such a huge impact in the world. And
So, yeah.
The one thing I love about B1G1 is it puts giving into tangible, seeable, touchable results. When I can say to someone that every time a woman becomes a member of Women's Prosperity Network, that a woman in Bangladesh gets a sewing machine so she can run her business, people can relate to that. They can relate to that. But when we say we've given X amount of dollars, it doesn't have the same impact. Isn't that crazy? But it's so true. So I am so proud to be a member of B1G1 and to spread the message of B1G1, because like you said, it's just one impact, one little thing that each one of us can do. So becoming a member is a wonderful way for all of us to give back. How was it, like, so clearly you had inspiration to make a difference in the world. So tell us a little bit about your inspiration for why you do what you do.
Well, I think growing up, because I'm Japanese, I live in Singapore today and running B1G1 from Singapore. But because I'm Japanese, I grew up in Japan. And during that time, I was a very shy person, and I used to see what's going on in the world as something that was happening outside, which I couldn't understand. I couldn't connect. I was afraid of, connecting with people. So through that, after a while, I started to travel. Somehow I had the opportunity to travel around the world. And during that time, some really amazing things happened because, so for example, wherever I went, there were always people who were really caring and kind, who helped me along the way. But at the same time, when I was traveling in places where people had so little, like families didn't even know when the next meal was coming, or whether they could send their kids to school each year. But then those people, when I connected, people invited me to share their meals with me. Or spend time with me. And then I used to think, like, why are you sharing your food? Because you didn't even know how you could feed your own kids next day. And so that generosity and kindness of people and were really like overwhelming for me. And so I guess, like in life, it's so easy to feel small, and we feel that we are powerless in certain situations because we see something big outside and we feel like, oh, I cannot possibly change it. So what do
Why
I do?
bother?
Yeah, but the thing is, if you really realize how gifted we are, just by running our own business or having the meal or, having a happy, healthy family or good friends who we can talk to. So if we just think about how lucky we are, just at where we are, we could all do something. And being able to do something for somebody else actually made our lives much more fulfilled and joyful. So I think in business world that we were made to believe that it's about competing, it's about maximizing our own profit and gains. But when we recognize that actually, this is just like a game. One day we're gonna complete our game, whether it's life or business. So at that time, how do we feel at the end of that game? And how do we want to spend every single day of our game doing what we do? Then maybe we can incorporate something like giving and generosity and kindness and gratitude into our business activities every day, and making it much more enjoyable to play this game with all the people we are connected with. So that's kind of idea of B1G1. So it's not just about let's raise lots of money for charities, but it's just by doing so, it makes our business much more meaningful to work on.
Yeah, it does. It does. And thank you for doing that, because as I speak to women all over the world, one of the things I hear over and over again is it's not just about success. It's not just about being good at business or being a good mom or being a good spouse or whatever. It's really about significance, making a difference in the world, doing something. And thank you for creating a way for all of us to be able to do that and do it easily. That's the key. So since it's Women's Herstory Month, are there any women in your life or women in history that have inspired you, if you think about that?
I think, I guess, like moms of the world who put things like, caring ahead of all the, personal gains. And of course, like people like Mother Teresa, people who dedicated their lives toward serving others and finding meaning and joy in what they do, no matter how difficult things get. So those people inspire me. But not only women, men and the children and the everybody, like who actually demonstrate that spirit of giving in small ways, really inspire me. So I guess I'm really the beneficiary of what we are doing too, because we get to work with some extraordinary people, like you, who just resonate with this idea, and then say, wow, like this is what I want to be part of, or I want to do, and spread. And so when things like this is happening, then we see that actually the world can achieve really amazing things, even though we have so many problems.
Yes, we can. We can. And one of the things I love about B1G1 is that you're aligned with the goals that the UN has set to make a difference in the world. So everything you're doing just plays to my heart, plays to my head, and I know that together we're really changing the world. So I know that you have a gift for our those who are joining us, and that they can learn more about you and about B1G1. So can you tell everybody what that is?
Okay, so I have two things. The first one is the book that I wrote called Giving Business. So this book really let you explore the ideas of giving, but also how you can maximize the impact of your business. So I will be giving out the free ebook, e-version of this book. Then another thing that you may want to do, if you are really keen to find out more about how your business can incorporate this effective giving in what you do, is this thing called giving plan. So when you do this, we will ask you just a few simple questions. And then as a result of answering those questions, then we will be giving you some ideas called giving plan to help you see what are the things that you could be doing in your business to really become giving business. So those are the two things you can access through the link that you will see.
Yes, and you can click, those of you watching, you can click on the button below that says free gift, and you'll get connected with Masami's ebook, which will show you more about giving. And you'll also have the opportunity to connect directly with B1G1 and find out maybe how you can incorporate this into your business and into your life. I can tell you that the satisfaction from knowing that just one woman for one day can run her business because someone became a member at Women's Prosperity Network makes my work better, makes my work enjoyable at another level that I never knew was possible for me. So thank you, Masama Sato, for being with us today. We appreciate you for making herstory and for sharing it with us today. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Trish.
My pleasure. And thank you all for joining us. And we will be back tomorrow with another woman making herstory, just like you are. Have a great day.